So yesterday we explored how leadership, how innovation and collaboration are essential in shaping the workforce of the future. We heard from Lieutenant Governor Abbott challenging us to think boldly about South Carolina's economic vision. And we listened to Louis Stewart reframe the conversation around artificial intelligence and human potential. In our breakout sessions, we tackled issues from K through 12 education, pipelines to reskilling, and from data-driven hiring to inclusive growth. And today we will build on those conversations, those themes, by moving from insight to action. At USC Upstate, we see ourselves as a catalyst bridging education and industry and preparing graduates who are ready to meet the real-world needs of employers across the region. But we cannot do it alone. It takes all of us. It takes universities, it takes chambers, it takes companies and communities working together to sustain momentum of the upstate economy. I want to once again thank our sponsors, BMW, Passam, McMillan, Patterson Smith, United Community Bank, Spartanburg Academic Movement, and all of our supporting partners that you will see on the back of your brochure. And now I would like to invite Katie Collins, President and CEO of the Greater Greer Chamber of Commerce, to introduce our first speaker.
Good morning. Y'all, there's more coffee in the back. Let's try that again. Good morning. Thank you. My name is Katie Collins. I'm honored to serve as the President and CEO of the Greater Greer Chamber of Commerce, and we are so excited to be a part of this very impactful event. Thank you to Upstate for having us as a co-convener, and we're excited to see the rest of the discussions today. This morning, I'm extremely excited to have the honor to introduce my friend Tiffany Tate for our first presentation. Tiffany serves as the Talent and Strategic Projects Manager and Chief Talent Ambassador for Move Upstate SC. And I will say, when I was in North Carolina, we actually reached out to Tiffany to see how we could copy Move Upstate SC, so you know it's good work there. Move Upstate SC is a regional initiative housed within the Upstate SC Alliance. Based in Greenville, South Carolina, she leads comprehensive efforts to attract, retain, and upskill talent across the Upstate region. Tiffany works closely with employers, higher education institutions, and community stakeholders to align workforce initiatives with industry needs and regional priorities. In her dual role, she oversees the development and implementation of strategic programming designed to strengthen regional collaboration and workforce development. Tiffany has been instrumental in shaping the Move Up platform, which provides resources and tools tailored to job seekers, employers, and career service professionals. Her leadership emphasizes employer-driven solutions and regional collaboration to strengthen the Upstate's talent pipeline and long-term competitiveness. Please join me in welcoming Tiffany Tate.
I didn't know Katie was introducing me, so that was exciting. When Katie came back, I think it was to talk about Move Up, we talked about going to coffee, and I said, let's go to Grateful Brew. I don't know who's familiar with that in Greenville, but the thing is they serve coffee and they serve beer, so whatever you can brew. It was a 9 o'clock meeting, and Katie walks in, and she's like, oh, they do have coffee. I thought we were having a beer at 9 a.m. And I was like, no, we're gonna have coffee. So good to see you. Thanks for having me. It's good to be back in Spartanburg. And I'm really excited to talk to you about Move Up. Does this come off? I'm really bad at standing still. Is that? Okay, cool. I work for the Upstate South Carolina Alliance. By show of hands, is anyone familiar with the Upstate South Carolina Alliance? Okay, what about Move Up? Who's heard of Move Up before? A good many people. Okay, awesome. And a couple more poll questions, trying to fill out the audience. Who's higher ed here? What about employers? Okay. Sorry if someone did this yesterday, but I wasn't able to make it, so I want to know. We are a regional economic development organization. We represent the 10 counties of the Upstate. So how did we get into talent? It started a while back, and I'm going to take you through the whole history in just a minute. But first, I want to paint the picture of why this is necessary. The Upstate is booming with new companies and expansions of existing companies, resulting in about $12 billion in capital investments in the last 5 years, creating almost 27,000 jobs. So we're creating a lot of new jobs, and we're training a lot of new talent, whether that be through a 4-year institution or a 2-year institution. So how are we bridging the gap between what industry needs in these jobs that are being created and the talent that is graduating from our upstate institutions and maybe nearby institutions that we could snag to come and fill some of those jobs? Conversations about move up. Oh, I clicked too far. You got a preview. Okay. Evolution of Move Up it predated me at the Upstate Alliance. It just wants to show y'all this slide, so we'll just go with it. It's longer, you can read it. In 2017, 10 at the top, the Greenville Chamber, 1 Spartanburg, and the Greer Chamber and the Anderson Chamber started talking about what our region needs and how we can fill this workforce gap. In 2017, you guys probably all remember this, our average unemployment rate across the 10 counties was about 3%, in some counties a little bit lower. So essentially, everyone who wanted a job had a job. And all of the chamber presidents, Upstate Alliance, 10 at the top, we're talking about all of the great things we have, but what can we do to market that to talent, and how can we move that talent into jobs that are in high demand? So then I started in 2017. We started work on Move Up, and I'm going to go into detail about that. We launched the site in 2019, focused really on attraction. So how can we market the region outside of the upstate and bring folks here to fill jobs? That went really well for about 9 months, and then COVID happened. So then we looked at what can we do to help our employees who are here, who maybe had a job and lost it due to COVID, or who maybe were underemployed. Because at that time, our unemployment rate shot up to the mid-teens. So it felt a little icky to advertise to people outside of the region to come in and fill jobs if we weren't working on helping our unemployed and underemployed in the region. And that's when Skill Up was born, and I will share more about that. This is all just teasers right now. So that is our upskillers. And then we started looking at all of the talent that is coming from our colleges and how do we keep them here? How do we retain them? And we started working with all the institutions here in the region to make sure that they knew Move Up was a resource for them, and so that we could pay attention to what they needed to help them do their jobs. How are we marketing the Upstate to talent? In the past, the Upstate South Carolina Alliance was really focused on marketing our region to businesses. So we knew the story of what we have, and we had to pivot that to also include talent and how we can market to them. So this is how we're marketing to them. They care about the cost of living. They want to be able to do fun things and not just pay rent or not live paycheck to paycheck. Thankfully, we're very fortunate here that we do have a great low cost of living, and we highlight that through different tools on the website. These are all tools that can be used by job seekers. If you are an employer and you are trying to recruit somebody in to fill a position at your company, you can send this site to folks, and they can play around and they can see how much further their dollar will go here versus somewhere else. If you're working with a college student, an upcoming grad, and maybe they're considering moving to somewhere, the cost of living might be a little higher. Maybe, oh, they're offering me $10,000 more in salary, but they're gonna spend all of that on rent. So how can we illustrate to them that their dollar can go further here? And this is our cost of living calculator. They can put in where they're moving from, where they want to move to, and it will show them how their dollar will go. It breaks it down by housing is usually the biggest one. It goes all the way into transportation, healthcare, groceries. You can see how much different grocery items vary from place to place. Our rent is lower than the national average, and so is the cost of purchasing a home. We have a communities map, so if somebody's not from here, they might not realize that you can live in downtown Spartanburg or downtown Greenville and have that urban feel, or you can do like I do and live out in the middle of the country at the lake. And you can have that regardless of where you are. We update this every year through collaborating with communities. So somebody can click in and learn about Spartanburg or Woodruff or Clemson and really get a feel for what it would be like to be part of that community. This is really important because we all know that people will live in one place and work in another, or they might just not be familiar with what's available. And we're helping people connect with the places they can live. So we have information about apartments, we have information about houses, and how they can make that move here. Another thing we talk about frequently is how diverse our region is. You guys are sitting in Spartanburg County, so you know, home to BMW, a lot of other German companies. We have almost 600 here in the region, and what we know about that is these companies bring their high-paying jobs. They bring their cultures, their religions, their food, their restaurants, things that help people find their community and also expose people to new communities. And these international companies aren't just located in the main populous cities. We have international companies in all 10 counties of the upstate. And we know what makes the upstate a great place to live. We have a great quality of life. There are so many things you can do outside of work. And that's another thing we advertise heavily to job seekers and folks who might move for a job. The site is full of information about quality of life. So if you are a company and you are trying to recruit somebody who might not be familiar with the region, and they're like, well, okay, the job sounds great, the salary sounds great, but I've never heard of Spartanburg or Anderson or wherever. Are there places to go eat? What can I do for fun? Where can I take my kids to play? We have all of that information built into the Move Up site. The site was built with input from employers, job seekers across multiple industries, and we identified what makes our region great, what makes it unique, and what do job seekers want to know. We took all of that information, and that's what I've just shown you. We built it into this site. That way, if you are an employer, you don't have to send them 20 different links to everything they might need to know. The school districts are there. If they want to know about volunteering, it's there. If they want to know about different religious locations, different churches, synagogues, mosques, that's there. So everything they need to know is in one spot. So maybe we've convinced somebody who was checking out the Upstate. Maybe you're an employer and you use this as a tool. The most popular tool on our site is our job board. This is free to use. It's free for employers to use. It's free for job seekers to use. Our goal is to get these folks to take a job. We love attracting folks. We love that the retirees like to move here, but that's not who we're targeting. We want somebody to move here who will fill a job and make a positive impact for our employers. Our job board is broken down by job type. This is intentional. We wanted to demonstrate to people that the top left one there, accounting and finance. You can have an accounting and finance job across any industry, whether that be education, whether that be manufacturing, whether that be on the public accounting side, and we've done that with all of these job types. If you're an employer, how do you get your job on this job board? There are a couple of criteria. We are doing a LinkedIn scrape for this job board, or not LinkedIn, I'm so sorry, Indeed. So if your job is on Indeed, if it's less than 30 days old, if it's located physically in the Upstate, and if it includes different keywords that we are looking for, your job will flow onto our job board. I'm happy to share those keywords with you. They are not a secret, so if you're an employer and you want to make sure your jobs are here, just my email will be at the end. Shoot me an email. I'll make sure you get that information because we want your jobs included. I teased Skill Up. I teased what we did during COVID. So we all know what happened. March 2020, we started talking about how can we help the unemployed and the underemployed in the upstate find a high-paying job, move up socioeconomically, and be able to support themselves and their family in a really positive way. And in October of 2020, we launched Skill Up. Like everything we do at the Upstate Alliance, and I see Elizabeth snuck in here from our team. She is on our research department. We like to look at the data. So on the move up side, we want to attract people who have the job types and the job skills that are in demand. Same on Skill Up. Elizabeth pulled a list for us of every job posting through COVID. So what jobs continue to grow in need even during this time of a pandemic? And we landed on 15 different job types. They fall into one of the 5 categories listed there. At the time, truck driver was the #1 need. It's still really high up there. Then we took those jobs and we talked to the workforce readiness folks, the unemployment folks, the colleges, the upstate technical colleges. And we landed on Skill Up in what it is today. I would encourage you to check out the site. It's really user-friendly and really fun to use. Our goal is to connect folks with existing training programs. So we are not training folks. We have great technical colleges here in our region that are already doing that. We identified these 15 job types and worked with the technical colleges to say, okay, if I want to be a truck driver, what courses do you have that I can finish and the next day I can be a truck driver? Or what courses do you have to be an EMT and the next day I can go and work as an EMT or as a welder or as an electrician? And what we found is making it easy to learn about how much you can make, how many job openings there are, what exactly those programs are, make it a lot easier for somebody to move into one of those programs. Because a lot of folks will give up if they have trouble finding what they're looking for, or even knowing what are the in-demand job types. We had an inkling, but you never know until you comb through the data and look and you see what those are. So on Skill Up, somebody can go in, they can learn about wages, they can click down, explore careers, they pop in the county that they live in, and that will pop out the training programs that lead to that career. They click in there, and they can go straight to that program information page on the technical college site. Each technical college provides a contact if somebody wants to learn more about enrolling or about financial aid. And our goal really is, like I said, to connect those dots. We're not creating any training programs. These are the 4 technical colleges we work with. And we work with them regularly to make sure those programs are up to date and nobody isn't encountering a broken link that might cause them to give up on their training search. So that was a lot of information. That was a lot of how we market to people. I want to talk briefly about how you can use this as an employer or as a higher ed representative. What can you take from this site and from our initiatives? Well, it's fresh on my mind, so I'm going to talk about this very briefly. Is our immersion tour that we do every 2 years. Our college and university partners want us to do it every year, but we do it every 2 years. So we did in 2025, we just did it in June. And what we do with this program is we invite all of the colleges and universities in our region, and then colleges and universities within a 250-mile radius to come and join us for a 2-day immersion tour to learn about the upstate, learn about our employers, and then take that back to their higher ed institutions to tell their upcoming grads and their graduates about why they should consider the upstate to work. And this is a dual role, retention, keeping our grads here, as well as attracting those grads from those outside institutions. We had a really successful year this year. We had 35 colleges participate. I believe we had all but 2 upstate institutions represented, 38 folks representing 6 states. We had North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee. I knew I was going to almost forget one. What do we do with them while they're here? They get to go to a culinary tour. They get to take tours of different art assets. They get to really immerse themselves in what makes our region great and get just like really excited about the Upstate. This year, we introduced something new, which was an employer showcase. It was almost like a reverse career fair in that job seekers were not there. We had 40 companies come and set up, and the career services folks from higher ed could move around and talk to each of these companies and make connections so they could take those back and talk to their students about the internships these companies have available or the jobs they have available. And it's really the start of a longer conversation for them where they can go back and forth now with these contacts at companies they didn't have before. So if you represent a higher ed institution, feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email will be at the end of this. We're happy to get you on the invite list for future years. We do only take 1 person per higher ed institution, and we do that to have the highest number of colleges represented. Like everything we do with Move Up, there is no cost for the immersion tour. Everything we do is free. So none of these colleges had to pay to participate. We pay for their hotel, everything to come in and immerse themselves here. For companies, again, no cost to use our tools on Move Up, no cost to engage with these college folks. We all have the same mission, and that is to get folks into jobs. And so to do that and make it easier, remove all barriers, we make that free. On the employer side, we have a whole page of employer resources just for you. We are not gatekeeping anything that we have because we want to make it easy for you to use this in your recruiting. So if you go to the employer resources page of our site, you'll see several different things. We have folks giving testimonials about the Upstate. It's always good to hear it firsthand from people who maybe boomeranged here or moved here for a specific job, or just one person came and visited and really liked it and didn't want to leave, and they were able to transfer here at their company. We have badges that can be used. Here's an example of linking back. So BMW on their LinkedIn page links to Move Up. And that is something we love for folks to do. You can link to any page of the site. We also have videos that you can use. We have photos you can use. And we encourage you to use those at no cost. Something else we do is we have print brochures. So if you are, as an employer, traveling to a career fair, or if you are a career services representative at a higher ed institution, we'll provide print brochures. We will provide promo items for you to have, for you to take to career fairs at no cost to you, and we're happy to do that. You just reach out to me and we'll provide those. So there's a lot of information on the site. How are we getting folks to look at it, and what has our success been? We're really happy with who we've been able to reach, and we are marketing both within the Upstate, especially on that skill up side, trying to move unemployed and underemployed Upstate residents into training programs, as well as outside the region to attract them into jobs that we have available. This is just, you guys can read, I won't read it to you, but we're tracking those very important conversions. We want to see how many people are clicking and looking at a job. How many people are calculating what their cost of living could look like here versus somewhere else. And those training program clicks, so that's 5.5 thousand people who have looked at training programs through Skill Up. So those are those residents that we want to move into those training programs. I believe I'm a little ahead. Are we doing questions? Does anyone have a question? Chris says I can take questions, if anyone has one. No, I guess I explained it really well then. Well, my information is right here. That's a really quick overview of what we have to offer with Move Up and our talent resources. I'm always happy to chat with you. I'm happy to talk to you about how you can utilize those resources, how you can be highlighted, and I look forward to hopefully chatting with some of you about that. Am I turning it over to you, Alan? Thank you.